something sort of light-hearted and fun-packed, actually, £7,200, that's going to make a really huge difference. I think mine are thrilled, and I'm just so proud, so proud that this little idea, me and Daddy had in the pub a few years ago, has just blossomed.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
We've been teasing all week that we were going to give you the total for our EPIC AllSorts fundraiser for Oxfordshire Mind, where our boys Rich and Deadly, presenters in the Melting Pot show that happens on Get Radio 9 o'clock every Thursday night, DJ'd for 24 hours at the White Hart in Eynsham and raising money for Oxfordshire Mind. That total that we raised was over £7,200. It's an absolute buzz, an absolute joy. And we've got Rich from the Melting Pot on. Morning, Rich. How you doing, mate?
I'm fine. I think I've caught up on my sleep after last weekend's, but yeah, no, I'm good, and I'm even better to hear that total. I mean, wow, that's astonishing.
Yeah, I wanted to sort of say, and James actually put it in a very good way, that you've been doing this event for a couple of years now, and you started it during lockdown, and when you got you boys on the radio with us, it's always something that we kind of wanted to do together, and it was pandemic, and we were finding it very, very difficult to do, and we kind of said, look, if we can help out, if we can give a bit of boomph to already a brilliant idea and a brilliant event that you were doing, then we wanted to do that, and we were so pleased that we were able to kind of just help out, chuck it on the radio, have some brilliant music and what have you. But I wanted to actually go backwards a little bit and just ask you why you first started this idea, because this was born out of the pandemic in 2020, wasn't it? And the first edition was live from different houses.
It was. So we'd been knocking an idea around for a while, because we'd been raising money for Oxfordshire Minds through pub quizzes and through sort of DJ nights. So we'd had this affinity to the organisation for quite a few years, and then we kicked an idea around about some sort of fundraiser on a sort of larger scale, and it kind of got poleaxed by the very first lockdown, and we sort of left it for about a month or so. Then about a month into lockdown, so sort of mid-April, start of May time, me and Daddy were chatting, thinking, well, actually, an online event would be more pertinent than ever now, because you've got a group of people who've not been able to see the friends, family, be in social situations by that point for sort of 4 or 5 weeks. And we thought, well, actually, probably more so than ever, this would be a good time to do this. And we sort of hit on the idea of, well, let's make this an online party, and you're all invited. And the response year one was incredible. And I think what was most powerful about the first year were the messages we received afterwards from people that said, "Oh, you really brightened up my weekend." I could, people were dressing up in 80s gear, and they were sort of dancing around their kitchens and stuff. And we were doing the same thing, because the three of us, myself, Deadly, and Graham, were all in our respective houses. So we weren't in a pub or in a venue. So it was quite a challenge year one, because you're sitting there on your own at 3 o'clock in the morning, queuing up a 5-star track or whatever it is, trying to think, well, I've got another nine hours of this to go, and it was so warmly received that people said, oh, you are going to do this next year, aren't you? And we're like, ask me tomorrow when I've slept and mainline some coffee. But and then obviously by year two, we then could run it through a venue, and I think it's built every year. I think this year surpassed my wildest expectations. I think it's been phenomenal to have the whole thing on the radio.
Yeah.
Bless James when he agreed to help. That resulted in the best part of 28, 29, 30 hours of sleep deprivation for James as well. So it was. I think we're all a bit sort of feeling a bit surreal by the Sunday lunchtime. We've all been awake for so long, but it was. It just felt like a team effort, a community. It was something.
That's it. Yeah, it really was. It really was. I've got James just on the other mic in the background as well. And James, just kind of go through the setup of it briefly. Just kind of go through. Rich had just mentioned. There's 28 hours worth of work that you've basically put into 24 hours, which is good go. But yeah, just explain the sort of setup and give people a sort of an idea of what we've gone through, because Rich mentioned the word community, and that's what we're all about. We wanted to be a community radio station with the added bonus of being on DAB as well, and kind of to reach more people. But the community of Get Radio is just a couple of us, and I was studying myself in France, so the community of Get Radio was just you, James. So how was it all?
Well, without getting too technical, what we needed to do is move the station to the pub. So that's putting a mixer or a desk in, a load of IT. I think there were probably about 4 machines keeping us on air, and making sure that it all sounded great on the radio. And we have some things we need to do, like the occasional advert and the news and other bits and pieces. So we had to cut from the event back to the studio, and there's a fair amount of planning to go in to move a radio station for a whole 24 hours. But such a worthwhile cause, but also a huge amount of fun. I think everyone involved, you could see the smiles on their faces, and the music was spectacular. And you know, the other thing I did is I got on the phone to some of my business contacts from networking, etc., around Oxfordshire, and rallying around for some commercial support as well. Yeah. Which is essential to fundraiser, and they all delivered.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, where, again, Rich mentioned it, the community came together, and we set the radio station up to be that community, to be you know, part of the business, but also we wanted to get the arts involved as well, because look, you know, we're business during the day, but at night we like to let out what's left of all of our hair, to be honest. Let's be brutally honest. Yes, we're all nodding. Yes, we're all nodding.
I've got plenty.
Yes. Well, it is thinning at the back.
We're just jealous, James. We're just jealous.
Look, it's a fantastic thing, Rich. I just want to come back to you. What was your kind of feelings when you first kind of heard the final total, and what have you, and also just sort of put it into perspective for Oxfordshire Mind as well, because it's a charity that I think a lot of us feel a lot closer to in the last few years. Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, it as we sort of signed off there on Sunday, I sort of did a little sort of thank you, and you know, we're signing off now. And I said at the time that the whole approach to mental health, I think mental health affects all of us directly or indirectly, and I think it's become a part of life. Well, that's, you know, not a great thing in many ways, but it is a great thing when you've got organisations like Mind who actually are making a difference. What really blew me away this year was, you know, these are challenging times, both for individuals and for businesses. And what really humbled me this year, and it did in previous years, was the sheer generosity of spirit of people. So we had individuals, members of the business network, donating, you know, money. We had individuals coming along to show their support to the event. People talking openly about mental health. We had a target in mind, what we thought we'd raise. We've absolutely pulverised that. I mean, in terms of the money that we've got, I know from going to the Mind AGM last year that's going to make a huge difference to lives. That is going to change people's lives. That's going to help people that may feel that they've got nowhere to turn. They may feel that they've really hit rock bottom. And actually, 24 hours, well, 30 odd hours and the rest, playing a lot of music, having a great laugh. And James said it perfectly. There was a lot of smiles. There were a lot of people, you know, we all, you know, the group of us sat in that room, you know, for that length of time. It's like the Big Brother household, but with sandwiches, and it was very nice. But we something sort of light-hearted and fun-packed, actually, you know, £7,200. That's going to make a really huge difference. I think Mind are thrilled, and I'm just so proud, so proud that this little idea, me and Dad having a pub a few years ago, has just blossomed. And people are now saying, "Oh, when we're doing it next year, when's the next one?" And I'm like, I just want to get back in some sleep routine and return to some reserves. A little surprise for you, Rich. We're going live tomorrow. We're doing it all again. We're setting it all up. We've organised it.
We'll do it again. Yes, I'm sure James is up for that. He needs sleep anyway. I'll just get on the phone to Tracy at the White Hart. I'm sure they've got nothing on that.
Exactly. Look, guys. From someone who was listening from afar. I just want to say that I'm so proud of you both as well. You've surpassed my expectations, my wildest dreams about what a few people can do in a pub, which sounds dodgy, but it's definitely not. You've done incredible work. And I couldn't be prouder. I know I sent you everyone a soppy message on Sunday, but I genuinely meant all of that. You've done so well, and you've raised a fantastic amount of money for a brilliant cause, Oxfordshire Mind. So Rich and Deadly, I know it's radio, but take a bow, and well done, guys.
I'd also say a big thanks to Graham Rice, the third member of the DJ crowd, and Neil Curtis. He dealt with the socials. They were part of the little crew with all of us and James, Ian, and Trace. There was sort of and even Aaron behind the bar. There was sort of 6 or 7 of us that pretty much stayed up the entire weekend, and we were looked after. So it was a fantastic weekend.
Well, you boys have done so proud. Final word from James.
And with us for the whole event was Oxfordshire. I'm really proud about the amount of money that people and businesses across Oxfordshire have supported the event with, and yeah, it's fantastic. And thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it? A big thank you to everyone that donated, everyone that took part, and well, we can't wait for next year. Brilliant stuff. Right, we got although Rich Cad, he's only just caught up on sleep.